Welcome back, everybody, to Movies and Beyond. This is our daily news segment. We've got some good topics today, some really good topics, actually. We are with Kyle. Kyle, how are we doing?
Hello, my eye's still pretty fucky, still, so you've got the pleasure of the Kyle Cam again, once again. I hope to be, once the weekend's over, I hope the Kyle Cam will actually be back on the proper one. But yeah, other than that, doing good.
Good, good. Uh, just, running a bit late today, but that's alright. We're going to get it out as soon as we can. So, yeah, let's not delay any further. Kyle, do you remember the very first story we talked about on the channel? It was the rumour that Andy Muschietti might in fact be directing the Brave and the Bold, the new Batman film. Well, guess what? It's official. Uh, Variety broke the exclusive today that Andy Muschietti will in fact be directing The Flash. When we first talked about this, you didn't really know any Andy Muschietti films. You didn't really like the It films. How do you feel about this now? Now that you've seen The Flash?
I wouldn't say I didn't like him, I just said it wasn't, it isn't really a franchise that I'm interested in. I thought the films were okay, but, it just wasn't my franchise. But yeah, now that I've seen The Flash, I'm definitely up for it. Especially like I'm not gonna get into spoilers, obviously, but with the Batman stuff, man, it was awesome. Just what they did with obviously we know Batfleck and Keaton are in it, and what they did action wise with both those Batmans in one film, and for me as well, it felt distinctive. The way they did the action for both Batmans. Again, I won't spoil what happens, but it was very distinctive, and it's cool that he can do multiple things with Batman. So yeah, I'm definitely excited now. I'm more looking forward to Brave and the Bold. I was already. Obviously, it's an interesting story, and we're gonna get our first proper. I know we've had Robin in live action before, but this one's gonna be more like the comics,
Yeah,
more comic accurate. Uh, so yeah, I'm excited.
I am very excited. This new DC slate, we know what's coming, but the talent that they're adding, behind the camera, first of all, is looking great. I think this is a great pick. To see what Andy Muschietti did with two Batmen in Flash, and now he's going to get to do his own. I think this is great. I really can't wait to see what he does. He is already the director who has worked with the most Batman actors, right? And now he's gonna probably have a third. There's no, there's no touching him.
It's gonna be his own as well.
Yeah, it's gonna be his own,
Yeah.
obviously. And I think a lot of this comes off the back of James Gunn. Really, really likes the Flash movie, and Peter Safran, the co-CEO of DC Studios, he produced the Flash as well. So the fact that they bring Andy back, I think it just shows that they had a great working relationship with him. He knows his stuff. I have no doubt now that this man could do a Batman film. He definitely could, without a doubt. And we talked about it, and when this was just a rumor, the way he worked with child actors in it is going to translate so well to his Robin. He's going to be able to get one of the best performances out of his Robin. So what do you think? Do you think we're going to get a top quality Robin from this because of who the director is?
Yeah. I mean, if anyone's gonna, get a really good performance out and get a good Robin and a very believable Robin, with obviously Robin, he's a kid and he's always been a kid in, the more accurate Batmans. So obviously in the comics, he's always a kid and that's sort of accurate, but they've never really translated that well. Well, they never could because it's a weird one. It's trying to make it a bit more believable. Whereas in the comics, you have a bit more leeway and stuff like that. But translating that to real life, to live action, it's going to be a bit more challenging. So I feel like this is definitely like, if anyone's going to do it, it's someone that knows, um, you know, someone who's able to get these performances out of, younger actors. So it's definitely the right pick, I think.
Yeah, no, definitely. What do you think the situation with this is going to be then? Obviously, James Gunn's lying, recently on the Michael Rosenbaum podcast. If you haven't watched that whole hour and a half with James Gunn, it's fantastic. I'd say everyone, watch it if you can. Just to listen how James Gunn speaks about these projects. He says, look, he loves directing, but he's a storyteller first. So if this is the best way he can tell his story, then that's what he's going to do. So for him, he is more excited to, let other directors do his story, but it's, still his story that's being told. That's why he said he loved doing Peacemaker. He directed the first 3 episodes and the final episode, and the 4 in the middle. No, 4 or 5 in the middle. Yeah, 5 in the middle. No, 4 in the middle. He let other directors come in and do it, and he said he really liked that experience. So the fact that now this is the next step in the DC universe, I'm pretty sure Brave and the Bold is going to be the next DCU film after Superman. Yeah, I can't wait. And following this, now, obviously last Friday we were reporting that there was going to be testing, doing some screen tests for Superman. They're going to be shooting that at the beginning of next year. Now we've got a director attached to the project. Do you think the Batman, who's going to be the next Batman rumours are going to start popping up anytime soon?
Well, that's the next thing, isn't it? It's either or. With these movies, it's who's going to direct it. It's who's first who's going to direct it, or it's going to be who's going to star in it, and then whatever follows after. Whichever gets picked first. It's usually oh well, who's going to direct it, or who's going to star in it now. So we're in that phase. I think it's probably already been set in stone for a long time that Andy Muschietti was going to do it.
Yeah,
After
we
James
was
Gunn saw
reporting
The
this
Flash.
2 weeks ago, so it's definitely been
Yeah,
in the
exactly.
talks, and it's just been made
So
official today. So yeah, um, I'll say this.
yeah, I hope that they choose. Well,
No, go on. Say what you were gonna say.
no, I was going to say, I hope that obviously I know James Gunn's head of DC, but I think they will, but I'm going to. Ooh, sorry, I just sneezed. Excuse me. But I hope that when it comes to Andy Muschietti and obviously it being his Batman film, I hope he gets to pick his own actor for Batman. Do you know what I mean? I hope that it's
Yeah,
not too heavy on the James Gunn picking side. Obviously, it is James Gunn's universe, and he's head of it all. I hope, obviously, Andy Muschietti will obviously get a say in, who he'd like for his Batman in his
yeah.
Batman film.
Well,
Um,
sometimes
yeah,
sometimes people say studio interaction is bad. It's a bad thing. We shouldn't have it. Studio interference. Chris Pratt would not be Star Lord if it wasn't for studio interference. The casting director at Marvel, I think it's Sarah Flynn. She kept telling James, "You need to audition Chris Pratt for Star Lord," and he kept going, "No, the pudgy guy from Parks and Rec. No, I don't think so. I don't even
yeah,
want to see him." Now look at Chris Pratt and James Gunn's relationship. You know, Sometimes that little bit of studio interference can be good. So, yeah, I was going to ask you, whose choice do you think it will ultimately be? And do you see maybe James taking Andy under his wing like Kevin did for James? Because before James were fired from Marvel, he was going to head up the entire cosmic, division of Marvel. Kevin Feige was sending him scripts all the time saying, "What do you think of this?" You know, just he was proofreading everything. Everything went through James Gunn pretty much at Marvel. when he were there because Kevin Feige had that much trust in him. Do you think maybe Andy Muschietti is going to have that sort of similar role with DC? And out of these two now, let's say when a Justice League film comes around, do you see either James Gunn doing it or Andy Muschietti doing it? Right now, just, these are the two directors we've got that are connected to two out of the three of the Holy Trinity. So, it don't have to be any of these. We're not saying that, but if one of them was going to do it, who do you think is more likely to direct a Justice League film out of these two?
Wow, of Andy Muschietti or James Gunn?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I think Andy Muschietti is definitely he started off on a really good path with the Flash. Because the Flash is a very it's got a lot of characters in it. It's still the Flash's film, but it still has a lot. Obviously, you've got Michael Keaton's Batman, and you've got obviously other characters. I won't spoil it, but it's a very jam-packed film full of like sort of main characters. Um, it's a bit of a difficult one because they both can do multiple characters in a story.
Yeah.
I think probably best I'd say is James Gunn, just because he's handled this scale before. But
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on what scale the Batman Brave and the Bold is going to be at. Is it going to be, massive scale, or is it going to be sort of like how the Matt Reeves Batman was?
I think it needs to be a bigger scale than Matt Reeves' Batman, because Matt Reeves' Batman is very contained, and I think they need to do something to really differentiate itself from it. So, I think it's.
I mean, I don't think it does, just because people know that these films are not connected in any way. I think it's let the movie be what it needs to be. If it needs to be small scale or big scale, just let the director do what he needs to do, and obviously the course of what's happening. A Justice League movie though, like you say, the question it's a bit of a weird one. I feel like Andy Muschietti has I wouldn't say he's fully proved himself, but he's very, very capable of doing it.
Yeah.
It's just we need to see him do his own take on these characters, because he's obviously done his own take with the Flash, in a sense.
Yeah, I think for me what it boils down to is, the Justice League film is gonna have, it's if obviously we're assuming that we're heading to that point. They've only announced the first half of the Gods and Monsters slate for the new DC universe. Now, what this question boils down to me is now, and we won't know this until the film's out and written, and we've seen it. Who would be the better pick is, who are they really putting at the forefront of this film? If they are putting Batman at the forefront of this film, then Andy Muschietti, I think, should take the lead. But if they're putting Superman at the front, then I think James Gunn should. But they're both going to have like a leading role. Do I see James Gunn passing up on doing a Justice League film? He's going to have a lot on his plate.
I've got a bit of a. Go on, I'll let you continue.
I really see. Obviously other directors are going to come in along the way, and we don't know yet until we've seen the Batman. But I really see maybe Andy Muschietti doing Justice League, because James is going to have a lot going on, and if he loves the Flash film and he's picked him to do Batman, probably, Superman fans don't hate me, probably the most important character in that universe, behind him, Superman, then I don't see a reason why he wouldn't trust him to do a Justice League film. But you never know, they could have someone else completely different.
I was just thinking then, look at the Avengers films, look at Endgame and Infinity War. They have, they've got the Russo brothers. So what's to say that, maybe in the future, depending on how big they're going to make the first Justice League film, why not just, it could be possible that they'll work together and they'll be directors. It'll be a duo director film.
I see them having very different processes. The Russo brothers, it's different. They've grew up and did it together from the beginning, directed together.
Oh yeah, I know, but I like to think that it's not off the table. I mean, it could happen, but it'd be an interesting thing because it'd be able to sort of let Andy Muschietti keep building his Batman, and then it'll let James Gunn focus on the Superman,
Yeah.
and then they'll sort of come together on these certain characters. It'll probably be in more control of obviously James Gunn and how he wants it. That's a possibility. 'Cause at the end of the day, James Gunn is a director as well, so that's just something to throw on the table.
Yeah. But I want to pull it back a bit. Obviously, we're just speculating here.
Yeah,
We're jumping very far into the future stuff that's not even on the slate yet. But this is like, us maybe in 2008 going, Jon Favreau's definitely going to be directing the Avengers film. And that's basically the equivalent to what we're saying. But I just
yeah.
wanted to throw
Well,
a quick question. Yeah.
it could be a whole new director we've
Yeah.
never heard of, or he's done something else, and he's come in and he's or she, they've come in new, and we'll have to see because obviously there's a slate. It's like you said, there's only the first half that we know of. So the second half might come round, and we could get
Yeah.
I don't know, like a Green Lantern movie, and whoever
Well, we're getting a
directs
Green
that.
Lantern show, aren't we?
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
whoever directs whatever, if they do like a really good job, and James Gunn sees that, he's like, "Oh, I want you to direct the Justice League." He might choose someone over Andy Muschietti.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
So
definitely. Now, one more question. Just a quick one. Ezra Miller not included, when it comes round to doing the DCU's version of The Flash, maybe in the second part of the first slate, do you see Muschietti doing that, or do you think James is going to try to keep him separate from that, so the new Flash can have a different vibe and feel to it?
that's a good question. That is a very good question. Um, I think Andy Muschietti will have his hands full with Batman and
Yeah,
whatever he does with
yeah,
that. I feel like he's obviously he's done the Flash already. He's doing this new Batman film, so he'll probably just be focusing on that and having someone fresh come in, just so it differentiates itself from the Flash movie we
yeah.
got now with Andy Muschietti.
Well,
So yeah, I think that's probably the case. I think Andy Muschietti will probably have like a little bit of say in it because he's had history with the character. They can
maybe like a
obviously,
producing credit or something like that.
yeah, like producer or something like that. Do you know what I mean? That's definitely a possibility. But
Um,
I don't think he'll be in charge of the Flash
no.
or directing.
Also, just another little things keep popping in my head. Do you think maybe he's trying to be a bit of a Justice League slut, Andy Muschietti, and he's trying to direct a film from every member of the Justice League, or a project from every member of the Justice League? You think he
Ooh,
might be trying to hit all seven? He'll do something with Lanterns, because that's a TV show. If he could get in there and do an episode of that, that's one of them checked off the list. Um,
I don't think so. No.
you don't think he's trying to slow it up at DC?
I mean, it would be interesting, but realistically, no.
Let's keep him in his corner. We know he does Batman well. Let's see what he can do now when the whole film is Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah, this news really excites me. So, at the end of every question now, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you now? Now that this is official. How excited are you for the Brave and the Bold, and how excited are you for the new DC universe? Because over the past couple of weeks, my excitement for the new DC universe has just been going up and up.
Yeah, I kind of expected that, to be honest. James Gunn being, on top of
It happened
in
after
charge of
Guardians
that.
came out. As soon as
Yeah,
Guardians came out, after I watched Guardians, I thought, oh my god, this new Superman film's going to be amazing.
yeah. So yeah, no, I'm very excited. Like you say, my excitement level's just going up and up and up. It's pretty cool that we're getting Andy Muschietti after doing the Flash and having his little take on
Yeah.
the Batman. Now he's getting to do his own
And do you know what, as
Batman.
well? He deserves this. After the shit
Hmm.
situation he's been put in with The Flash.
Yeah.
He really deserves this because he gave us a great film in The Flash.
Hmm.
So, yeah. But, anyway, next week, the first episode of Secret Invasion will come out. Some reviewers have already got their hands on the first 2 episodes. When I put the slides together today, it's sitting at about a 70% on Rotten Tomatoes. Now,
What's this? Sorry.
Secret Invasion.
Okay.
It's sitting at about a 70%. I do believe that's the lowest out of all the MCU shows. But when I was reading the reviews, I was reading stuff like, it's too dark. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Haven't people been crying for the past year and a half because Marvel's too silly? Where the fuck have all these people gone?
Marvel fans.
I am at the point now where I know no matter what the MCU does, because it is so big, everything they do now is going to be divisive. Don't get me wrong, a 70% on Rotten Tomatoes is great. That means a lot more people like it and a lot more people dislike it. But the negative reviews, I seen a negative review and it compared it to Captain America the Winter Soldier, possibly one of the greatest comic book films of all time. What the fuck's up with her head? This is... it's like when we was reading the Flash reviews. Yeah, it's like when we was reading the Flash reviews last week and people were mentioning Ezra Miller. Comment on the product, not the people involved. But this people commenting on the people involved, it's just what?
You know what? After you just told me that, them comparing it to the Winter Soldier, and the fact that it's on 70%, standing currently at roughly 70 odd percent.
Yeah.
I'm just really excited for it now.
I'm really excited for it.
I was already excited. I'm kind of glad that it's doing something different and it's being a bit darker.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
I read another review and it says it's not a superhero show, so they give it a negative review. It's not supposed to be.
I can't wait for the show.
It's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be a spy thriller. That's what we're getting. A paranoia spy thriller. And, when I'm reading reviews like, oh, this is a bit too dark. Oh, like Winter Soldier. Mate, I'm going to go on that person's Rotten Tomatoes account and go back and read it and see what they reviewed the Winter Soldier at. Because they need a fucking swift fucking slap. But, no, I'm joking. Don't incite violence. Violence is terrible and I've never done an act of violence in my life.
I'd sound like a toxic Star Wars fan.
Yeah, no, the Marvel fandom's I've always thought the Marvel fandom's been great, but it is getting like the Star Wars fandom.
No, it's always had that sense of, this is, there's a bit of toxicity there.
Yeah, no, definitely, but it's definitely a bit more vocal now. And do you know what I think the problem is? TikTok. Because any cunt with an opinion, like us, can go post a video and have it done in 1 minute and have it circulate to 7 million people from just scrolling through stuff.
Yeah, and you know what? I remember I was on TikTok and I was looking at some memes, and then all of a sudden I came across this stupid thing. You remember me telling you about it? That theory in Infinity War that Loki was in disguise as Bruce Banner in the Hulkbuster, and that's why you didn't see the Hulk. I was just like, oh. That had millions of views and millions of likes and loads of comments. People saying, "Oh my god, that's crazy. What if it's true?" And I'm just like, "Oh, please stop."
But yeah, but from what the people are saying that they don't like about this show, is getting me more excited.
Exactly.
So now we're less than a week out from Secret Invasion, and it went from a show to I was excited for it, to oh wow, I'm really excited for Secret Invasion. So, I'll probably, I was going to get home from work on Wednesday, maybe do some bits and bobs, get the show, prep the show when I get home from work. Mate, next Wednesday, Kyle, you better be at my house at 5:15, because we need to watch that as soon as it's out.
I will try to do
that. But yeah, after hearing all this, have your excitement gone up for Secret Invasion? Has it gone down a bit? I'm guessing it's gone up.
Yeah, like I said, it's gone up. Like I said, when you first said it, I was like, this has just made me more excited. I can't wait for it now.
Yeah, no, and to the people who are saying, "Oh, it's not a superhero show," you know, you've seen 2 episodes as well, so you don't know what's going to happen in the end.
It's Nick Fury. What did
And
you
it
expect?
and exactly, it
Like,
wasn't marketed as a superhero show. It was
yeah,
marketed as Nick Fury's show.
exactly. I mean, we all know Nick Fury. Everyone's been saying, "Oh, Nick Fury's been, pushed to the side. He needs his own movie or show." And then it's like, well, you've got it now, and now you're complaining about
Yeah,
it. It's, you know,
but yeah, no, definitely my excitement has only just gone up for this. Uh, Speaking of exciting things, you'll be very excited about this, Kyle.
yeah,
2 new Spider-Man films have been put on the slate, on Sony's slate. Untitled Spider-Man films. We are getting one in November 8th of 2024, and we are getting
yeah.
one in June 27, 2025. Obviously, they are not, you know, Craven comes out on October 6th of 2023 and Madam Web comes out on February 16th of 2024. So it's not them 2 films. And Spider-Verse comes out in March of 2024. So it's not any of them 3 films. So what 2 films do you think these are, Kyle? You know, and which do you think is going to fit which date? So you've got November 8th of 2024 and you've got June 27th of 2025. I think there's just 2 obvious answers here for Spider-Man films, but what do you think they're going to be?
I'd probably say the next one's going to be Spider-Man 4.
You think Spider-Man 4 first on the November release date?
No, so for the 2024 release date.
The 2025 one is June
Oh,
2025.
25?
Yeah, and then there's November 8th,
Ooh.
2024.
Yeah, well, sorry, I thought you said 24. I don't know, because I know that we're getting more Tom movies.
Yeah,
Apparently, like, we've got another trilogy on the way with that. And obviously with the recent news that Sony want to make a live action Miles Morales movie,
yeah.
it's going to be, one of them's going to have one and the other's going to have another. So I can't really think of which one's going to be which, to be honest.
Right, I'm going to tell you which order it's going to be in right now. And I guarantee you this is going to be 100% right. Because I'm always right. November 8th, 2024. That's going to be Venom 3. If they start rolling on that at the back end of this year, that's going to be Venom 3. And June 27th, 2025 is going to be Spider-Man 4. Venom usually comes out at the back end of the year. So they're going to try, capitalise on that. Keep with that same release date. Obviously, Spider-Man came out in...
Also, you think Spider-Man's going to show up in Venom?
He might, but I think Spider-Man's going to be in June 27, 2025. I think that Spider-Man, because of the delays and stuff like that, because of COVID, they had to push No Way Home to December. I feel like, even though they made all the money, Spider-Man No Way Home made all the money, to me, it shows that they want to put their main character back in that summer spot in the middle of the year, summer movie season. So they want to put Spider-Man back there. So yeah, I definitely, because it didn't take them that long to shoot Let There Be Carnage. I remember in the first Venom as well. I remember they were shot pretty quickly. So if they can get rolling on Venom by the end of this year, then
I mean, realistically, those films are literally just like you don't have to do much with filming. Just film Tom Hardy and talking to himself
yeah,
and running, talking to himself and just running. That's literally it. That's not to obviously slag off the Venom films. I enjoy the Venom films. I think they're
I
really
do
good.
as well.
The first one I probably enjoyed just a little bit more because it got Venom really really right, and then in the second one they kind of it was obviously it felt like a very different Venom. He kind of went into a bit more of a goofy kind of comedy type thing. I mean, he was still cool. I still thought the film was good. But I really want to get that, sort of evilly type of Venom because it was just really cool. Like I remember watching Venom 1, and it's the beginning of the film. I think everyone agrees it's very slow. Um, as soon as Venom starts, pulling out his sort of like tendrils and attacking those, the security or whatever it was in Eddie's apartment, and then you just hear that dun, 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 dun Venom's theme. And I was just like, oh my god, this is so freaking cool! Like this is
Yeah,
badass. And, Venom wasn't even on screen. It was just demonstrating and introducing him a little bit slowly, which I think the first one did really well. It introduced Venom really, really well. For the second film, like I said, I found it to be a little bit on the goofier side. Because obviously you had Carnage, who was the more evil type of,
yeah,
symbiote.
um, yeah. I'm excited for more Spider-Man. No Way Home was, you know, a lot of fan service, but fan service done right, definitely. So when people use that as a criticism, I've found now that a film comes out and then 6 months later, people love it, and then 6 months later, people are attacking it.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people saying No Way Home was just hype. It was just
Yeah,
built on hype. Actually, look at the film.
yeah.
It's not just hype. It's
How
not
can you
just
say it?
hype.
That film is amazing, right up into the point before Toby and Andrew come into it.
Exactly.
That
Yeah.
film is would have worked without them. If they couldn't get them, they'd have found a different way to do it at the end. But
Yeah, I don't want to say too much spoiler wise here for the Flash. But the cameos in that, obviously, there's going to be cameos. It's the Flash. It, it had cameos for the sake of cameos, whereas No Way Home had these older characters come back, and it fit into the story really, really well. Like the Doc Ock stuff. Obviously, Norman Osborn going to the Feast Center. Just everything in it was really good, and they all
the
go to
apartment
Happy's
fight,
apartment. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
yeah,
So not that's not to say the Flash doesn't have like it's got Batfleck and obviously
okay, yeah,
Keaton in it, and they both serve as the story. Well, I think Keaton probably serves as a bit more, but um, that No Way Home doesn't have cameos for the sake of being for cameos. It has these characters returning because they're well loved, well respected, and they've just woven so well into the story and with Tom. And like we both said when we sort of spoke about that film, it's still Tom's, Peter's,
yeah,
Spider
yeah.
Man's
No, definitely.
movie.
So we're assuming that Sony likes money here. Um, the Venom films don't do, they do good, like pretty good for the budget they're on. I'm pretty sure the first one nearly made $1 billion actually, so I don't know what bullshit I'm talking
It was like
about.
800.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So the Venom films do really well, and Spider-Man, you just printing money. You know, no matter no matter the quality of the next Spider-Man film, it will do. It will do money because of No Way Home. Um,
hmm
so do you think that's a good fit? Venom and Spider-Man on these two release dates. I don't see it being anything else as of now. You know,
Um, my thing is yeah, it's a bit of a weird one because obviously they teased Tom in the Venom 2 post credit scene. And then when we see the next time we see Venom, he bounces back to his universe.
yeah.
Um, so I think it'll probably be a little confusing for people. I think that's
Uh,
probably Sony's fault,
right.
but
Let's say this. I'm gonna say this now. I'm gonna do a quick Across the Spider Verse spoiler. If you really wanted to see the film, it's been out for 2 weeks now, so I don't think this will be an issue. So quick spoilers for Across the Spider Verse. Um, you know, we don't know what's gonna happen in Beyond. Maybe Peter, Tom Holland's Peter Parker gets given, recruited and given one of them wristbands, right? And maybe he wants to have his mission be, oh, I'm gonna try and find Peter 2 and Peter 3, and maybe he gets, as he's skipping through universes, maybe he gets put in the Venom universe, and maybe his thing breaks or something like that. He's being hunted by Venom.
um,
You know, it's tying all these Sony films together,
Yeah, I just
which
think
I
it would.
don't think the
It,
MCU want to do. But if Sony wanted a way to, borrow Tom for the Venom film, I see that being a possible way of doing it.
potentially, it's just because of obviously the No Way Home post credit scene. It's kind of it wouldn't make sense why they'd tease that and then move him into Venom's universe.
Yeah.
Because there's a part of the Venom symbiote already now in the MCU. Um,
Well, they could.
I think the best way that they could fix upon that is obviously because um, if I'm not mistaken, in the Secret Wars comic, that's where obviously Peter first gets his suit, the black suit. So maybe like I don't know, Reed Richards comes across it, something like that, keeps it contained, and maybe it's something to do with the Fantastic Four. I'm just kind of going crazy here with the theory, but I don't get why they moved Tom into the Venomverse if Venom
Maybe. Um.
symbiote already in the MCU. Do you know what I mean? If they didn't have the Venom symbiote in there, then I'd be like, oh yeah, they could borrow him in that universe for a little bit. But since part of the symbiote's already in the MCU, it wouldn't make much sense.
Maybe. Um. Maybe there is a Tom Holland Spider-Man in Venom's universe. Just a direct variant who hasn't discovered his powers yet.
Could be.
Yeah.
I mean, what would be the point?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I think we can definitely say they're going to try and get Spider-Man in Venom 3. At the end of the day, it's their product. It's their property. They can do what they want with it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. But.
Tell you what, though. Obviously, spoiler again. With obviously the end of Morbius, I know that film's not really sort of classed as canon, really.
Morbius spoilers.
Well, Morbius spoilers, but in
Kyle,
that film,
everyone saw that film. You don't have to worry about spoiling Morbius. Everyone
yeah,
saw
no,
it.
right,
It made all the
if you
Morbius
haven't
money.
seen it, you need to go see it. Rent out the cinema and go watch it. Don't watch it on the small screen. Rent out an IMAX screen and watch Morbius.
Yes, definitely. I would agree.
If you can get it in 3D, it's even better. Um, yeah, no, so it's all very messy at the moment. I'm honestly, there's no point theorizing about it because it seems like Sony just kind of do what they want, and
Yeah.
the best you can do is try and make sense of it. Like I tried making sense of the Vulture showing up in the Venom universe, because of what happened in Across the Spider-Verse, where variants were popping in and out, but that doesn't make sense still because Vulture wasn't glitching. And if that's the reason why he's in the universe, he'd be glitching. Whereas,
Yeah.
like, obviously with Tom and Andrew, they were in No Way Home because of magic, so they're not really going to glitch.
Yeah. But no. I see these being very viable release dates for a Spider-Man and Venom film. So I think that's probably what it will be. But yeah.
My worst case scenario is they do Venom 3 first, and then they tease at the very end that Venom's going to be in Spider-Man, and then to try to do a Venom versus Spider-Man film. That'd be like my worst case scenario because we've got villains already, in the universe that already have like a bit of a backstory with Tom Holland Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Look at
I really want to see a Scorpion.
Scorpion, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Michael Mando, is it?
yep.
Yeah.
Vast from Far Cry
Yeah,
3.
yeah. Really want to
brilliant
see a
game,
Scorpion.
brilliant. Best villain, one of the best video game villains.
Yeah.
He was in I've not watched it entirely. I think I'm on like season 3 or 4 or something. But Better Call
Better Call
Saul,
Saul, yeah.
really good on that. So I hope they don't waste Scorpion on that actor because it's perfect.
Yeah. Anyway, these films are going to make all the money. All the money. Put Spider-Man in Venom. Put Venom in Spider-Man. These films will make all the money. And speaking of making money, it's going to be Flash's opening weekend. And they're looking to about 70 million. Now, a $70 million opening weekend is fantastic. It's great. Any film would love to open to 70 mil. But when you've got a $300 million budget like The Flash, you might want to open to a little bit more than that. It's between 70 and 90 million that people, the analysts are saying it's going to open between. And it's already made 9.7 million in previews, opening night but that's from like Wednesday. That would be like from Wednesday to Friday previews. So, quick question, Kyle. Do you see this 70 million? Do you see it making? Do you know going to the top end of it and making 90 million, or do you see it maybe hovering around the 70 million mark? The Flash.
Ooh, that's a good question. Do you know what it is? It's the case of it's obviously the Flash has got like a very dedicated fan base, and maybe I want to say it's on the lower side just because of Transformers coming out. Obviously it's out now, but if people like go into the cinema and like, oh, what do you want to go see? And like people will say another superhero movie, or do you want to go see the Transformers? Not made one of them in a while, so sorry, that's my really bad impression of just like an average Joe. But as someone, if they had to choose to bring their kids somewhere, the kid's gonna obviously choose like the big transforming cars.
Yeah.
No,
Definitely.
So I think it'll do well, but it won't. If Transformers wasn't released at the same time, I think it'd do even better because it'd be the only superhero movie on screen at the moment, other than Spider-Verse. But it had a bit of room to breathe after Spider-Verse.
Yeah,
So yeah, I'd like it to do really well because I
would.
really enjoyed the film.
I'd love it to do well. I think we're in a lucky position though where this film doesn't have to do well.
Yeah, this film can make like 1 million, and it can make
Yeah.
nothing. It'd be
Yeah,
fine.
Warner Brothers will take a hit on it.
I think Warner Brothers have taken a hit on it already. I mean,
Yeah.
the amount of nightmare they've had with this film, the fact that it's gonna do well at all is still a good thing.
Yeah, but the early projections for this film had the Flash opening at over Guardians and over what Spider-Verse was going to be. I'm pretty sure it was like 125 million. Its early projections were, and now to see them come down so low, I think that's a lot to do with as of before the film came out, the Rotten Tomato score now is down in the mid-60s, so it's not far off being rotten. That don't matter to us. I love the film, but I'll say this as well.
Really, it's that low?
Yeah, it's about 60. I think it's about 66 now. I'll say this. I don't know how this film's going to translate with general audiences. We did our review yesterday. I think we both. I love the film. I know you like it. This is the first film in a long time though I've seen someone walk out of.
Yeah.
That couple next to us walked out.
Yeah, I remember.
How is this film going to play with general audiences? Are they going to be bothered? I see the Flash as the most interesting, fun. The Flash is my favourite DC character. A lot of people might just look at this and go, "Man who runs fast." Not interested.
Yeah.
So, I think it's going to take a while for the general audience to understand, like, what a cool character the Flash is. But 70 million opening, you can't complain. It's going to be good. It's just a matter of, will it have legs? Because Avatar, the original, I'm pretty sure that opened pretty low, under 100 million. And that film went on and just made money and money and money and money. But this film's got a lot of competition coming up in the next couple of weeks. Negative reviews aside, now that more reviews have come out, a lot more. So this was Cannes. The negative reviews came out for Indiana Jones. Now some more reviewers have seen Indiana Jones films. Especially a few people that I watch have just said, I don't know what film they were watching because I thought it was amazing. And Indiana Jones is a big, it's a big franchise. So it's got Indiana Jones coming up in the next couple of weeks. It's got Mission Impossible. It's got Barbie. It's got Oppenheimer. It's got a lot of competition ahead of it. So, this film having legs, I don't see it being an option. So where it was going to make a bulk of its money was the opening weekend, and if it's only going to be $70 to $90 million, I don't think this film's. I think this film might just break even because they probably had to spend a lot of money marketing this film as well, and all these, free fan screenings that they were doing like 2 weeks before they came out, a week before they came out. I remember seeing every day on Reddit like, oh, I've just been to a fan screening of The Flash. I'm not going to spoil it, but ask me any questions how I felt about it. That was their way of promoting the film. It's like getting fan screenings out there so they can come out and talk about it, because they couldn't have their lead actor out there doing interviews. So that instead of having, paying an actor to go around and do all these junkets, they've had to pay for all these different screenings and all these people to go in and see The Flash.
Mm-hmm.
So, So 70 million wouldn't be an issue, but I think this film's going to struggle to break even. Which, if you'd have asked us 2 weeks ago, before the Rotten Tomato score was out and everything, and the early box office tracking was out, 70 million would have been laughable back then. But now the film's out, more people have seen it. I remember our shock when the reviews came out. It's like, well, this is a lot lower than I was expecting. So yeah, I'll say this. What are the chances, Kyle? The top end of this is 90 million of these projections. What's the chances that The Flash hits 100 million this weekend? On a scale of 1 to 10. Or over or under 50%. This film hits 100 million this weekend.
I'm just contributing all the factors in my head. I've got to go like a good 50%. It's a 50-50. Like I said, you've got the Transformers to compete with.
You've got Spider-Verse to compete with. You've got Elemental as well. The new Pixar film comes out this weekend.
Exactly, yeah. So you literally got a lot of competition there. And let's be honest, like, we're not the type of person that looks at Rotten Tomatoes and sees like, oh, it's 26% or whatever, and it's like, oh, it's a bad film, I'm not going to watch that.
I don't think the general going movie audience does as well.
No, but it'll still be
I think people just hear good or bad things.
No, I think it will because a lot of people just base their opinions like, oh, it looks, it's got a bad Rotten Tomato score. I'm not going to bother seeing that. Obviously, it's not going to be like, I'm not even going to say it's 50% of people going to watch it.
Flash's audience score is at.
Huh?
You keep talking, mate. I'm just going to see what the Flash's audience score is at, because that should be out by now.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I think it will probably be like it won't be like a massive percentage, but it will be a percentage of people seeing the Rotten Tomato score reviews and going, yeah, I don't think I'll bother. Because people, like I said, a lot of movie-going audiences probably don't even know what's going on behind the scenes and how long this film has taken to come, just to release.
Yeah. So, this is interesting. So, 68% of critic reviews now, and that's 268 reviews, so that's probably about as many as it's going to get critic reviews. 68%. So, nearly 70. Not bad. I think it deserves a bit more than that. I'd definitely say it deserves like a 75. But, it's just an aggregate, so people, it doesn't really matter what it is. It's just what people like it and don't like it. That's not how Rotten Tomatoes works. And the great thing with Rotten Tomatoes is if, they did this after Captain Marvel came out, is because Captain Marvel was getting negative reviews before anyone had even seen it. So you need to verify that you've seen the film with your cinema ticket before you can leave an audience score review while the film's in cinemas. So with 1,000+ verified ratings on the audience score, this film's sitting at an 87% with audiences.
That's good.
That's really, if the audience is enjoying it, and you can, take that as a serious number now because it has to be verified. It's not like audience score back in the day when it was like anyone could put it on there. So yeah. So people seem to be enjoying it. So maybe that positive word of mouth will get out there. Maybe people will be like, look, it's a fun time. Go out and see it. I know we give it a positive review, and I've seen loads of positive reviews for it. So Maybe it'll surprise us. Maybe it will. Maybe it'll make that top end like 90 million. But yeah, we've got you know, I hope this film does well. That's all I'm saying. I hope any film to do well because these people get to live the dream and they get to create stuff. It's not fair that they get shit on. And
Except Morbius.
except Morbius. Morbius was a masterpiece. But our final, topic, Kyle. We've been talking a lot about the Hulk lately, and if the rumors are to be believed, they've done it, baby. Marvel Studios has its rights back for the Hulk, the distribution rights.
Oh shit!
So,
How did you get that?
This is a rumor. I got this off Reddit. So and they're saying, oh, from my sources. So I don't want to say this is true, but I did think this would be an interesting topic to talk about. So let's start it there. The validity of this, I don't know. But
is it from someone who's been right in the past?
Yeah.
I know our viewers are going to be like, oh, they're just reading Reddit and
yeah, no,
like,
it's
we do look into things a bit better than that.
Yeah, no, I've definitely done it, and they're a verified user on that Reddit of. I'm pretty sure it's the same person who was said about the Eddie Muschietti stuff last week, and that's just turned out to be true today. So, yeah. But just for sake of the story, let's say this is true. We've beginning of the week we talked about Marvel slowing down. They're not going to be doing as many projects. Now they've got these Hulk rights back. Do you think there's maybe room to fit a Hulk project in there?
I mean, if they do Planet Hulk, that would be a pretty kick-ass way to, do your first official MCU Hulk movie by the MCU, by Marvel.
Yeah.
It'd be very different, it wouldn't just be because people love the Hulk. It's got a big fan base. The thing is, I think a lot of people are getting sick of seeing Hulk smash through.
Your mum.
Smash through sort of basic things. We've seen it in the obviously the Incredible Hulk film, which is technically MCU but technically not. Some people count it, some people don't. It's personal preference. It don't really matter. But I feel like people loved the Hulk when he was on Sakaar, and he was on a sort of a different place because everyone knows Hulk knows he can destroy a car and jump through cities and cause havoc and whatnot. We've seen that in the Avengers. We've seen that in all the Avengers films pretty much, except from the last two.
Yeah, I really feel like we need Planet Killer Hulk back.
Yeah, we definitely need that Hulk back. It would make some interesting set pieces, instead of because at the end of the day, like I'm not going to be down for a Hulk film that's just going to be based on Earth and him going through something and he smashes a car and jumps and he fights something. I'm a bit bored of that. I mean, you've got Venom as well, and Venom's doing that at the same time. In smaller scale, but still, we've got that on screen. We've got Transformers on screen, destroying things on Earth. When Hulk was on Sakaar, I loved it. I thought it was great. It was probably the best bit of Hulk we've ever gotten.
Yeah. Now, do you feel like this opportunity has been missed a bit? Or do you think we've gone past this point already that we could do a Planet Hulk film? Because when he was on Sakaar, that seemed like the perfect time to do it. Obviously, he's End of She-Hulk. He's been back since then. He has been back to Sakaar to get his son with some clapped up haircut. But that could be a way it leads into it. But yeah, I do see it possibly being a Planet Hulk project. I am a bit worried because they have just said they're slowing down, and it seems like now it's like, oh, but we've got an opportunity to do this, so let's do this. But I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I have faith in Kevin Feige. Ultimately, what this man decides to do, you know, whether you disagree with some of his decisions or not, this man is the greatest producer in the, I would say, in the history of Hollywood. He has done something that so many people have tried to replicate and failed. Now, if he thinks we can fit a Hulk film in there, I'll stand behind him. I mean, I'll stand with him. Yeah, if he thinks we can do it, sure, why not? It's just all these conflicting reports of, we're slowing down, we're really going for quality control. Then maybe we won't get Planet Hulk until after, after the next two Avengers films. And by then, do you think it'll just be too late? Or do you think they're going to squeeze it in somewhere before? What do you think?
Here's the thing. I'm not ever going to say it's too late, especially with Marvel. They've, they can do.
They've only done one film. They've only done one film too late, and that was Black Widow. That film needed to come out. That film should have been then, maybe not the next film out after Civil War, but it should have definitely been between Civil War and Infinity War. Somewhere in the release late.
Do you know what it is though? I think the reason Black Widow was in a bit of a weird spot is because obviously the character had died. They let that character sort of go. Then they released a prequel film, which is kind of strange. It didn't. I feel like that film would have probably worked better if it helped. If it was, I don't know, if it was like building upon it. Yeah. If that makes sense. So if the film was released, like I said, after Civil War, it would have worked better. Instead of like a prequel thing. So I feel like if they do Planet Hulk, let's be honest, more people will go see Planet Hulk because it's all the VFX, it's all the action. You turn to someone and say, "Oh, do you want to go see the Black Widow film?" And it's like, I don't really know the character that well. I know she was in the Avengers, but if you hear the Hulk, it's like, oh, big action, big set pieces. Let's go see it. Just look at the Michael Bay films. That they literally went off. They made money because of all the crazy action and set pieces that they had.
Are you telling me that Michael Bay Transformers films didn't make their money because the incredible acting of one Megan Fox?
No.
No. Right, sorry, I must be mistaken.
Yeah, you are very mistaken. Somebody's in love. No. Yeah. So when it comes to Black Widow, I feel like that was a film that was sort of, I don't know. It wasn't too late. It was just done wrong.
Yeah.
It felt like the movie literally felt like the only thing I could take away from that film was that they set up Yelena as the new Black Widow. That's all I took from that film. It felt like just Yelena's origin story in someone else's main story kind of thing.
Yeah. Listen. If they want to do a Hulk film, and they've got the rights to do it, look, I am not doubting for a second that Kevin Feige hasn't got 5 Hulk scripts ready to go that could fit in at any point of the MCU timeline. So, if they feel like they can do it, they want to do it, and they're going to do it well, sure. More Hulk, that's great. It's just I really want to see them bring it back to, look, I want to see smart Hulk get angry. I want to see what happens when that guy loses his temper. Does he Hulk out even more? You just don't know. So, if they're going to do it, I think they'll do it right. You got
Hmm?
Do you think they're gonna do it right or?
Oh, sorry, I just thought something cut out then. No, like I said, I think that any time you can do a Hulk film, just because it's Hulk at the end of the day, it could probably, it could probably be like, if it was disconnected from the universe or connected to the universe, either or, people will go see a Hulk movie.
Yeah, no, definitely. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for today. So out of today, Kyle, what news has excited you the most? Let's say, what's got your blood really pumping and your penis really hard?
Uh, None of these, well, except just because we talked about Morbius a little bit, that was probably the only thing. But story-wise, in this video today, I'd probably say it's just because it's solid and we know it's true. The Andy Muschietti stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
So probably that's what I'm just. It's nice to hear. It's like, oh, that's
Yeah, it's
good.
nice. It's nice to have it confirmed, and it's nice to see that this DC universe is really starting to take shape.
Yeah.
So yeah, super excited for the new DC universe. I have recently bought the Snyder Cut on Amazon because for some reason I thought it was on Now TV, which when it was when it first released, but not anymore. So I've been feeling like watching that after watching The Flash. So I've got that, and another little exciting thing in the world of Callum. I might have chucked a cheeky pre-order on The Flash and Keaton's Batman Hot Toys, but I might not have done, but I definitely have done. But I might not have done, but I definitely have done. I don't have any room for any more Hot Toys, but I will make them fit. So yeah.
Good luck.
So Kyle, you got anything you want to add then before we go, or?
No. Obviously, we won't really. I don't know if we'll be able to do a gaming segment this week. I think tomorrow would be a really cool. Obviously we don't really do the news during the weekend, but I was just thinking that we'd do just a video on Theory Done. Obviously, we didn't do it on the Friday like we kind of planned. I feel like it deserves its own video. I think.
Yeah, we've definitely run a bit too over today as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, videos this weekend. Probably be expecting another 2 videos this weekend. Obviously, me and Kyle are going to discuss the Splash. We're going to discuss the Flash in full spoilers, so we can really get into it and really have a good conversation about it. We actually haven't done that since we walked out. We walked out the cinema and we had a little chat about it, but then we went our separate ways. So we're going to really get into it. We might have even seen it a second time by then, so we're going to have a bit more insight.
Yeah.
So
I'll probably come out. I'm guessing Sunday.
Sunday, definitely. Make sure the most people have seen the Flash that possibly can on that weekend. And tomorrow, I'm gonna try get a video up of just my personal, after seeing the Flash, my personal rankings of every live action Batman. It wouldn't be fair to get Kyle to do that video because he hasn't seen any of the older films, so it'd just be putting him in a situation where he's got to watch 4 films tonight, basically. So I'm gonna pump that one out tomorrow for you guys. Like, subscribe, share, show us to your mother. Comment on the video. I got a comment, today from someone who watched our Flash review, and we're in the early stages now, so we're gonna reply to every comment if it's either me or Kyle who replies to it. But yeah, get engaged. We're here to talk about movies with you guys. That's what we want to do. That's what we set out to do from the beginning. This for us is just talking about movies, because we've said it before. There'd be countless nights where me and Kyle are sat in a PlayStation party, not even playing any games, just talking MCU.
I'd be swinging around in Spider-Man.
Yeah, I'd have me cock and balls in my hand. But yeah, so get involved. Click. If it's possible, maybe get someone on the show. Come tell us if you guys have got a dumb theory or something like that. We'd love to hear it all. Anything, we don't care. So yeah.
Good stuff. Yeah.
I've been Callum. That's been Kyle. Robert Downey Syndrome Kyle. And I'll see you in the next video.